Hi everyone, Donna here. I am the owner here at Bookkeeping Made Simple. Today I have a few things that I want to talk about. One of them is the angle of my camera. Yeah, this is much better. Actually, I want to talk to you about how to improve your business by using information that you can get from your accountant. Now, here's the catch. Most accountants don't do this. They like to sit down, do your taxes. They like to sit down and maybe look at your reports. But they really don't get into the nitty-gritty most of the time, as far as I've seen. The only time I personally talk to CPAs and higher level accountants than me is at tax time. Okay, they don't do reviews. They don't really get into actually helping you plan your business unless you have a CFO. If you have a CFO, then you have a whole different thing. So I'm going to talk to you about how to use your accountant, how to use accounting information to improve your business. Now, yesterday we talked about how to figure out where you are. And I think that's one of the most critical things that there is. You need to know where you're at. I personally, when I get ready to, say weight loss is a huge thing for me, I'm always trying to figure out how to lose weight. So, and everybody, that's the big epidemic in the United States is obesity. So everybody's on a diet, okay? So everybody gets it. So I like to use the idea of before you start a diet, you have to know where you are right now. You have to get on the scale. You have to get out your measuring tape. You have to measure chest, waist, hips, maybe even thighs, calves, biceps, whatever it is that you want to change. You've got to measure that. Sometimes it's kind of scary to do that. I know a lot of people they go off the way their clothes fit, which is great. But I need to know what those specific numbers are. So I know what numbers that I'm looking to hit, body fat percentages, whatever it is. And those things can change from time to time. When I was young, I was getting ready to become a competitive bodybuilder, and then I moved to Utah, and so that didn't really pan out because I couldn't find somehow in Utah I never seem to figure out when is a good time to exercise, because I feel like I'm working around the weather and the sunrise and the sunset, and I've got to overcome this. But anyway, I had to figure out first, where am I at right now today? Okay, so yesterday's video was about that. It was about determining where you are right now today. What are your numbers right now today? That's the first step. That is something we can help you with. And that is something just about any accountant worth their salt can help you with, but most of them don't. Most of them really they're in the tax preparation business. Why CPAs go through 5 and 6 years of schooling and $1,000 test and a year internship to become glorified tax preparers is beyond me, but that's what most of them do. They don't do so much at least none of the ones I've worked with have done so much the consultation. They may generate reports, but here you are, here are your reports. And for most business owners, that really doesn't do it. Your best bet, if you want to know, how your business is doing, is to have a CFO or chief financial officer. Unfortunately, most of the businesses that I work with are very small businesses. They don't have an extra 100, 120, 150 grand laying around to be able to pay a full-time CFO, and they don't have enough business to warrant it anyway. And so they don't have this assistance. So I want to talk to you about what to do on that. The first thing you want to do, like I said yesterday, you want to know where you're at today. Then we can come in, we'll come in and tell you where you're at. I have no problems doing that. The numbers are the numbers. That really is where a lot of people have some sticking points. I say, these are what the numbers say, and they say, well, that can't be right. And I go, the numbers are the numbers. If they're not right, then you haven't given me what I asked for, or you haven't provided me enough information, or you've left accounts out and just not told me about them, or information is being withheld, and that's not okay. The numbers are the numbers. Once I have all of the information and we sit down and we start doing the work, the numbers are the numbers. That's just the way it is. We don't have any real emotional attachment to your money. We have emotional attachment to our money. Everybody does. But it's not, it's just the way it is. Yeah, you took clients out to eat 25 times last month, and you ran up a $5,000, and I'm being very, very low on this, a $5,000 restaurant bill, and that's how much you spent in restaurants, and that's not counting cash tips. You need to know what that is. If you spent $10,000 on restaurants, you need to know. And maybe that's something you want to continue doing, but maybe it's something you didn't realize how much you were spending. And most of the time when we get in financial trouble, whether it's personal or business, it's because we didn't measure what we needed to manage, including how much we were spending, especially how much we were spending. So that's always the first step. Let's see where you're at, and then let's look at your numbers. Let's look at things like your profit margin, your overhead costs, your all of the information that's necessary for us to be able to see what where have you been spending your money? Where could you better spend your money? If you're spending a ton of money wining and dining clients, and you're not really in the kind of business that requires it, you're not selling super ridiculous high-end client products, you may want to stop and think, what do I need to do to spend money so that they come in and they're ready to buy? I'd rather be an order taker than a salesperson any day of the week, right? So we want to talk a little bit about that. How do we switch that? How do we switch that gear? Do we need to spend more money on marketing? What are you doing for marketing? What's your return on investment for marketing? I can tell you that by looking at your accounting. I can tell you that by looking at your reports, especially reports over time. I can look at your marketing budget. I can look at the increase in sales, and I can tell you what your return on investment has been. And if we really want to dial it down, and this is where you really need to get your accountant involved, we can start tracking specifically where you spent money. Did you spend it on Facebook ads? Did you spend money on Google ads? Did you spend money on outdoor advertising? Did you spend money in print advertising? And then we can come up with a system so we figure out how many of these sales are coming in from specific marketing channels, and then determine what your return on investment was for each channel. So most people don't do that. They kind of throw spaghetti at the wall and hope it sticks. They really don't. I'm going to turn this again just a touch. It's always hard when you're like doing these from home, and I don't have a professional videographer as much as I would like one. But I always, this really is a real office. It's always kind of rough, trying to do this without a professional videographer, because I've got to have my eyes looking at the camera. And if it's positioned wrong, then I look like I'm looking down at my desk. And I just, I want to really engage with my audience. And so it's always a bit of a challenge. So I apologize for having to adjust the camera every 5 minutes. It's just a simple webcam that's stuck to the top of my monitor. So we are bootstrapping here, folks. I started this business with $500. So, we need to know where, of your marketing dollars, which ones are getting the biggest return on your investment. I recently talked to an attorney, and in the interest of confidentiality, I won't mention her name, but she said she has a legal practice, of course, and she has multiple branches. So she doesn't just limit herself to one field of law. She works across the board. She does family law, and she does business law, and she does contract law, and she does all kinds of things. And she said she had no idea that her family law practice was costing her money. And it was her other practice areas that allowed her to provide assistance to people in need for family law. And I kind of laughed and said, and you can do that. You can choose. It's important enough to me to represent people in the middle of a family dispute, and I'm willing to lose money on that as long as I'm making X number of dollars. And attorneys actually have to take a certain amount of cases pro bono, which means for free, in case you didn't know. But you have to be aware. And then she can say, I've lost enough money in family law. I can't take any more family law clients until I've recouped this. But if you don't have the right information, you can't make the right decisions, regardless of what they are. Regardless of, for example, regardless of whether it's a decision I would make for my business, that doesn't matter. Okay, you have to make the right decisions for your business. Hopefully, the decisions that you're making for your business are the ones that bring you in the most money. The reason I say that is because we are going to, the whole point of being in business is to make money. That's the only point of being in business. So if you are going to maybe take a little hit in one area of your business, you have to be aware of what that hit is and how much you're losing or how much less you're making, because other sections and segments of your businesses will have to make that up. In her case, she does a bit more charity through her family law practice. Excuse me. And she needs to do, she has to be aware of what segments of her business are making her money. Now, down the line, she may say family law is too stressful. It doesn't make me enough money. It's costing me too much, not just and because it's family law, it tends to be very stressful for everybody involved. There's a lot of nasty feelings that go around. I know, I've been divorced. It's not fun. She may decide it's just not worth it. It's not worth it on any level. And then she can say, well, I know this makes me the least money, so I feel better about removing that practice area from my practice. Okay. We kind of do the same thing. I want to know, is it my bookkeeping clients that give me the best return on my investment, or more advanced accounting clients? Is it my consulting? Is it my speaking engagements? Is it, what area of my business makes me the most money? And where should I be putting my effort? Now, yesterday I talked about the 80-20 rule, which is that 80% of your rewards come from 20% of your efforts. So, if you have a service business and you have 100 clients, you're going to have 80 of them that are going to be kind of pains. Okay, you're going to have a few that are a real pain in the butt. 20% of your clientele will generate 80% of your income. The catch is to know which 20% to put your attention on. Okay. So we want to make sure that we know what these numbers are telling us. Like I said, most accountants actually just hand you your reports and hope you understand them. We don't do that. If you get the consultation package, we sit down with you and discuss what it is that you're looking at and how you can interpret those results. What are you seeing? In other words, one of the things that I track is I track my revenue changes, both in a dollar amount and a percentage amount over time. So just to use round numbers, if I make $5,000 in 1 month and I make $6,000 in the second month, well, I need to know, one, that I made $1,000 more. I need to know if that's a recurring client or if it's just, I just got lucky. If it's a one-time thing, I need to know say, yeah, I just need to know. And then I can make decisions based on what I've seen patterns in the past. I can start to make decisions like, oh, well, my business has typically grown 10% a year. I want it to grow 20% a year. Okay. I did talk a little bit about last time about compounding, which means that if you have a $10,000 business, $10,000 a month in revenue, and you want to increase it by 20%, well, then the next month will be 12,000. The catch is the month after that, it's going to be 15,000. So you are going 20% not over your baseline, but over your total. And that's going to go up exponentially. So you use accounting and you use your accounting professionals to determine what your starting point is, all the way down the line, and then changes. My advice is to get into a consultation relationship. And we do provide that business consultation, CFO type services, where we actually do sit down with you and we go over your numbers and we review everything with you quite frequently. And we talk to you about, I see you're paying this much for workman's comp insurance, and here are some other alternatives that may cost you less, and they're required by law to provide certain responses on claims that that's all covered by law. We could sit down with you and say, we see that you're spending a lot of money on marketing, but your sales aren't going up that much. Do we need to segment this out and see exactly which marketing platforms or marketing channels are providing you the best results? A lot of times that's exactly the case that we need to do. And, we can really dial in and see where your money is being spent so you can get the best return on investment. I always keep going back to this, though. You can't manage what you don't measure. It's really challenging to try to do anything if you don't know where you are, and you don't know what your benchmarks are, and you don't know what it is you're aiming for. You can't have a goal unless you, I want to make more money in my business. It's not a goal. Even I want to have 6 figures in my personal bank account. It's not really a business goal. We need to have little benchmarks along the way, and we can help you set them up, and we can help talk to you about whether or not how to know whether you've reached them, whether or not you have reached them. And we have different plans that you can purchase for that. Must be past time to be off of here because my brain is kind of freezing up. Need a reboot. If you enjoyed anything about this video, please feel free, like, comment, share. That's how people find out about us. That is how, if you know anyone who even knows anyone who's a business owner that might benefit maybe from some of the things that I've said, or if you just thought it was entertaining. This is really who I am. I don't swear much. I feel weird when I swear. I swear so little. It's always interesting to listen to people like Ryan Stewman is one that I listen to a lot, or Tony Robbins does this too. And they get on there and they get passionate and they swear and swear and swear. And I'm like, I just don't do that. That's not who I am. My boyfriend swears all the time, but I don't. And if I do, it does actually feel strange to me. So if you are one of those that, and I don't care, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. It's just not who I am. I am kind of prim and proper and very much a girly girl. So evidently some memory lapses. That's always interesting. So yeah, that's just the way it is. I do feel very passionate about this because I have seen so many people, just so many business owners over the years go out of business because they really didn't understand what their reports were showing them. And that was one of the reasons that I branched off and started doing this kind of thing, was because I really think that it's important for business owners, small business owners that don't have the financial resources to have a CFO, to have a whole accounting department. They still need the help. And so if you know anyone that you think might even remotely be like that, feel free to share this. Give me a 5-star review on Google. I'll put the link in the description below. Golly, I've been on camera way too long. And 5 stars, folks. 5 stars. If you don't like it, well, if you hate it enough to give it a 1-star review, you probably didn't make it to the end of this video. If you kind of liked it and kind of didn't, you probably didn't make it to the end of the video. But if you really liked it and you thought that I had something worthwhile to say, please give me 5 stars on Google and on whatever social media platform maybe you saw this on, Facebook. It really helps us to get the word out. It helps us to improve our viewership. It helps us to get this information into the hands of business owners who are going to need it. And we're really going to need it, you know, as 2021 comes to an end, as we're dealing with the supply chain issues and the labor issues and everything else. Small business owners need help more than ever before. I've watched some of the other accounting videos, and they are honestly, I never wanted to be an accountant because I thought that they had sticks up their butts. Don't know too many that have really changed my perception on that. And I know quite a lot of accountants at this point in my life. They all are not the most fun people. It's one of the most boring dates I've ever been on. So if I've even just entertained you, give us a 5-star review on Google. Please like, share, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, hit the red notification button so you're alerted the next time we put up a video. I am trying to be more consistent on that because consistency is the key to success in business. And that's it for this morning. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.